did it. I'm here. I made it. All right. What's on my computer here? Woo. All right. Let's get this little commercial off. Hey, everybody. It's Janine Driver, your celebrity lie detector. It's episode two. Thanks for sticking around. Sorry, I'm 30 minutes late. I literally had to download Chrome onto my computer because Safari, for some reason, I guess does hiccups with these webinars. So let's get right in. We've got a lot to cover. Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper, what's Ryan Seacrest doing some weird thing on the red carpet. I'm curious what that's about. We're going to chat about that. And then R. Kelly. Finally, he spent a couple days in jail this week and has a new friend that helped bail him out, $100,000. And we're pulling some video footage from the archives to explore what was he saying without saying a word and with his words, the inner meaning behind his words. I'm comparing him to some pretty not good people. So my name's Janine Driver. I'm your celebrity lie detector. This is episode 2. I'll see you in a minute. Let's get this party started.
Today's mission, I'm talking to a couple thousand women in the Washington, D.C. area. And I'm talking about your blue streak. Reframing all these things that have happened in your life, good or bad. Doing a reset. Calling in a blue streak. A blue streak is something that changes the trajectory of your life like this. It's magic.
She's changed the way I notice things in conversations and little things that people do.
I am truth. I am generosity. I am power. Who wants to meet me at truth, generosity, and power? Say I do. Here we go. And what I'm going to challenge you to do is the minute you walk out this door, an hour after this, a month, a year, 5 years, that what you're going to learn from me today is going to pop in your head. That's that thing she showed me on the face. I just saw it with my boss. My kid just did that shrug. I now know what that means. You cannot unsee, unhear, or unexperience what we're going to go through today. Oh my God.
It is so.
We see people at work or at clients hang up on us. That's their significance. Some of you used to say hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. So be careful of going in and meeting people at anger when in fact it could be fear or sadness. Investigate a little further. No one's given us the manual. But I brought the lenses that I train and give to the CIA, to the FBI, Scotland Yard Police, to Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola. Don't walk out being Janine, don't walk out being Mika. Walk out being the best version of you. Figure out what you believe, and I'll tell you, the world will pound down your door to cheer you on and get to know you. People do not want you to be perfect. They want you to be authentic. Your truth, your power, your generosity. You're my people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We're here. I'm so excited. I like count down the minutes and the days to get here. All right, what's next? Let's see what we have in store for you. Oh, look at these people. Hello, everybody. Little Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. I am so excited to chat with you about them. Let's look at them. Let's move me over in the top corner. Hi, Lady Gaga in the top corner and Bradley Cooper. Look at the affection. Boy, everyone's writing in. I'm getting phone calls, even family members that I didn't even know they knew these two people's names. Like, what do you think's going on with Lady Gaga? I'm like, Dad, how do you even know the name Lady Gaga? I'm so excited you're here. Look at this, mad love affair they're having in the public eye. I'm going to share some information with you on my opinion on Lady Gaga in a minute with Bradley Cooper, and it may shock you what I have to say. So I'm so excited you're here. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, let's go back last week. If you missed last week's episode 1, you got to watch it. My name's Janine Driver. I'm your celebrity lie detector, live every Wednesday night here on Facebook Live at 10 p.m. East Coast time. It's free. I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm giving this to you because my job is to inspire people to look at their world differently. That's why I'm on this planet. So I'm so excited you're following this. Please be sure to like me and be sure to pass this along to everyone on your Facebook page, telling them to watch it, because not only will we be analyzing celebrities and criminals, what you're learning here with both the body language and the word choices can change your life forever, can help you make smarter decisions with who you bring into your life. So last week I talked about Jussie Smollett, and I've been talking about him for a while, even when the brothers, I think it was just before the brothers were arrested, the two brothers Jussie hired. I went Facebook Live here in my office outside of Washington, D.C. And what happened this past week? Here's an update.
This announcement today recognizes that Empire actor Jussie Smollett took advantage of the pain and anger of racism to promote his career. I'm left hanging my head and asking why.
All right, I called it. Yeah, I called it. I called it, everybody. So listen, I call people guys because I'm the oldest of 3 boys. So I'm always saying, let's go, guys. Let's go, guys. I mean, I'm the mother of 3 boys. I don't know if I just said I'm the oldest of 3 boys, but I'm the mother of 3 sons. So I call everyone guys. And Hank Norman put a big post on social media. If you're not familiar with Hank, he helps people become famous. He created an empire and got him started with Grant Cardone and with Mel Robbins. And not only Hank, but his team, him and Steve over at To Market Media. And I saw a post on social media saying, stop calling everyone guys. So I don't know if that message was for me or not, but I'm going to take it. So what you should be saying is you. So if I say you guys, I'm going to work on just saying, hey, what I want you to look at here. So I'm so glad you are here. I'm so glad you're here. I called this with Jussie Smollett. I'm so sick of this case. Are you guys with me? Respond on Facebook. This is Facebook Live. I'm literally doing this live. We got a late start because of the technical difficulties. I will read some comments and questions at the end of the program. So put your questions here on Facebook Live. I'm going to follow here on my cell phone and read them at the end. And I've got a surprise guest here off to my left. I can't wait to introduce you to this person towards the end of the program. So hang in there. Hey, let's first start with some love you guys sent my way on social media this way. I want to give a big shout out to you guys. Helen, Herbert, you asked me, the image in the left lower corner covers the on-screen images. Can you make it smaller? I know my big ego is getting in the way. Well, Helen, Herbert, I have taken your request and boom, let's look everyone in the bottom left corner and see my little teeny version of me. Let's compare it to last week's version, shall we? Stand by. Let's see how much smaller I got. Helen, how's this? Is she small enough now? I feel like I was like a shrinky dink. You know those shrinky dinks? First of all, weirdest name on planet Earth. But you color them, they're tiny like this, and you put them in an oven and bake them and they curl up. Yeah, I shrinky dink to myself. So thank you, Helen Herbert. Hopefully the new size Janine driver in that bottom corner right down there does not cover up too much of our celebs this week. Hey, Carrie Ann. Just a day ago, Carrie Ann, you wrote, Janine, you said that Jussie's a bad liar. I totally agree. I'd expect better from a professional actor. Right, Carrie Ann? It's ridiculous. It'd be interesting to know if there are any people who are good liars, people who can pull off the deception, even a body language expert, but evidence has proven their lie. Basically, have you ever been fooled by anyone? Yeah, I have been fooled. As a matter of fact, I've been fooled numerous times in my life. That's why I ended up becoming a human lie detector and going into law enforcement and working with many people in law enforcement, mentors who are hostage negotiators and human lie detectors and just the top of the top special agents in charge when it comes to reading and decoding human behavior. And as a matter of fact, someone questioned, who am I? Am I an expert? So I threw my resume up this week. So I don't know if anyone saw it. I responded to a post, deleted my address, of course. Yeah, I can, if anyone wants to check out my creds, I'll put my resume again, or you can go search that. So Carrie Ann, not only have I been lied to, I even had a woman that worked with me who embezzled over $50,000 from me. While my mother was dying of breast cancer, I was struggling with infertility, going through in vitro, when I needed to have her, trust her the most and have my back when I was in the midst of the storm, eye of the storm. She was doing all the paperwork and I wasn't looking and I was bamboozled. So hashtag, I have a book called You Can't Lie to Me. Well, evidently, she could lie to me. She must have missed orientation day though, because I busted her, but not before she took over 50 grand from me. And I never saw a penny of money again. So, and I'm a human lie detector. And here's a woman I brought into my home, to my family, and I was bamboozled. So it happens to the best of us. And to answer another question, I sometimes get it wrong. I remember saying on Wendy Williams' show that Jessica Simpson was going to be hot and heavy with this guy she was dating, and it's never going to last. And she married that guy and had a bunch of babies with him. So that's the one time I was wrong on TV that I know of. Last but not least, Chris Perks. It's startling to see Jussie's interview contrasted with the victims of the actual crime. If you have missed last week's Celebrity Lie Detector with me, Janine Driver, last week, episode 1, please go back and watch it. What I did is I compared Jussie Smollett's behavior with 2 young men who were actually attacked. And then I compared Jussie Smollett with Kim Kardashian when she was basically held hostage and robbed in Paris, France. And I showed you and walked you through the verbal and nonverbal hotspots of someone lying. And it was really quite evident. So thanks, Chris Perks. Hey, Helen and Carrie, hey, Carrie Ann and Chris Perks. Send me a private message here on Facebook, and I'm going to send you Celebrity Lie Detector baseball hats that are coming in this week. I'm going to start giving them away. Anyone who puts comments here on Facebook Live or on YouTube, if I highlight your comment and your question here the following week, you'll be getting a hat. So I got to figure out where to mail them to you. So starting next week, you'll see me in my hat. So let's back here. Oh, look at all this. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Some more questions. Watching Kim, what she went through. That's right, Sheena. Makes you cry. Yeah. Where was that? My mother's like rolling over in her grave. Yeah. Yes, Sheena McRae. When you watch authentic emotion, you'll feel it inside because we have what's called mirror neurons. And many people who follow me here know this. When you yawn, I yawn. So yeah, you're right. When you watched Kim talking about it, you probably got emotional or felt some type of kinesthetic response versus Jussie. Chocolate music. Awesome name. The comparisons are very different. Jussie's lying again, talking about episode last week. Michael Jordan did the tongue protrusion to figure out what cool dunk he was about to do. They see a straight sociopath. Hey, with regard to the tongue protrusions, there's many reasons when we stick out our tongue. It's not just deception. It could be, think about threading a needle. When you thread that needle, let me make me bigger here. If you thread a needle, what do? You have the string and you have the needle, and you sometimes go like this. When you're doing something that requires precise precision, you go like this. So not all tongue protrusions are connected with deception. All right, let me move me over here. I see the disappearing lip and 100 people passing by. They must be nervously saying hello. Yeah, so think about it. Someone walking by, they say hi, right, like this. Of course, there's a spike in cortisol in that moment. You're a stranger, so the lips might disappear, so they're feeling a little uncomfortable. Last but not least, the attacker, you played it about 20 times, had you dying. But seriously, you did a great job at showcasing the differences between someone who's telling a lie versus someone who fabricates one. Well, thanks, Annette LaRae. All of you, please shoot me over a private message and I'll get you some Celebrity Lie Detector live hats next week. All right, let's get the party going. There are 7 levels to reading and influencing human behavior. These are the 7 levels. The first 4 are down here with verbal and nonverbal communication. 5 and 6 come up here with movement pattern analysis. This is how we move in a pattern that connects to how we interact with people and how we make decisions, where we're motivated to spend our time and energy. And the 7th level is retention, and this is to have a behavioral shift, you have to learn something over and over again. So that's my virtual training. It's not out yet. I'll keep you guys posted when it comes out, and follow me here and you'll get a heads up. It may be coming out next week, I just heard today. So thanks to Tony Capullo working hard over there in Vegas, making that happen. Today we're gonna hang out down here again. Levels 1, 2, and 3. 1 is cognition. This is how the body and brain talk together. 2 are emotions, some micro expressions. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. Not so much as micro expressions as head nodding. We're going to talk about head nodding today. And then, of course, level 3, which is deception, because that's what we're looking for. There will be some deception detection here, and then some stuff that we might think there's a hidden meaning and more to the story, and maybe even deception, but it could be something completely different. So we'll explore that. And we will not be going into innovation, cohesion, motivation, or attention. All right, this guy. Remember this guy? He's been around forever, right? So think about him. R. Kelly, was arrested once again, and this time it was $100,000 to get out of jail, and he was in jail for a couple days until he could scramble together, get some money from a friend, they're calling her. So some friend, her information's online. It's irrelevant to our point. Listen, I was planning on doing a big show on R. Kelly, and then the Oscars happened, and Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, and then Ryan Seacrest was doing this weird thing. So we're going to talk about R. Kelly as fast as I possibly can. We're not going to dive super deep here. He's going to be back in the news, so we'll go deeper on him and do a special. Maybe we'll do a 3-part special just on R. Kelly. So I'll just give you a couple of the highlights here to rock your world. Again, my name is Janine Driver. I'm your celebrity lie detector. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy you're here. I love you for being here, and here's what I want you to look at. R. Kelly was released on bail after spending a weekend in Chicago on jail sex abuse charges. That's right, 11. He pled not guilty to 11 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. I went deep in the archives to find footage on R. Kelly, and boy, did I find some footage. This is back from the early 2000s, and let's see if you can catch what I caught. And if you didn't, it's all right. That's why you're here, to learn how to detect deception and read people, so you have a life full of people that you trust, and they're worthy of your trust.
To go to court over something like that. So if you settle, it'd be better. And right now, I wish that I hadn't done that, because I think that has a lot to do with.
He's talking about some cases he settled
the whole image of
a
the
while
young girl
ago
thing and this, that, and the
out
other.
of court.
And but if I had it all over to do it over again, I definitely wouldn't settle.
Did you have any kind of relationship with those two girls?
Absolutely not.
You did know them, though?
Yeah, I know. Go to court over something like that.
Look at these
so
pauses, guys. Listen.
And
listen
right
to this
now,
double
I wish
talk.
that I hadn't done that, because I think that has a lot to do with the rumor of R. Kelly and the whole image of the young girl thing and this, that, and the other.
The whole image of the young girl thing and this, that, and the other. Hello, Jerry Seinfeld. Remember that episode? Yada, yada, yada. So this is an indicator of the possible deception. We'll often see people will speed through time. And he's saying, what did he say? The girls? And at one point he says, people just come out of the woodwork. This, I'm going to show you, I'm going to rewind here, is called minimizing language. If you say, did you rob the bank? Someone may minimize it and say, I didn't take money that didn't belong to me. Did you rape her? I didn't force myself on her. This is called minimizing language. And we see this in 2 places. We see this with police officers and law enforcement. We use it so you know you're not a bad guy. Hey, we make mistakes too. And so we lessen what we're talking about. We're never going to say, did you rape her? We'll say, hey, did you, force yourself on her? Maybe there was, some type of indicator. We want you to tell us the truth, so we will minimize. We also hear this from people who are holding back something from us. Even Bill Clinton said, years ago, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. So this sexual relations word was made famous back then, was really made famous back then, instead of just saying, I didn't have intercourse, I didn't have sex with her, I didn't have oral sex. So we'll minimize the language. Let's watch again and listen closely to what R. Kelly is saying here.
And right now, I wish that I hadn't done that, because I think that has a lot to do with the rumor of R. Kelly and the whole image of the young girl.
All right, the rumor of R. Kelly. So he's talking about himself in third person. This is something else as well that we're looking for. Does he normally talk about himself in third person? I think Bob Dole did this. Bob Dole wants you to know, and Bob Dole. And so Bob Dole would always talk about Bob Dole. We saw this with Herman Cain too. Herman Cain, do you remember him? He ran for president a couple of years ago. Herman Cain did not sexually harass those women. Herman Cain would want you to know. And it's Herman Cain actually talking to himself. About himself. It was really weird. It's called character testimony. I say to you, have you ever smoked cigarettes? Or have you ever done drugs? And you say your name is Mike. Has Mike ever done drugs? We saw this with Tom Brady, right? Remember this in Flakegate a couple years ago? Did Tom Brady cheat? Is Tom Brady a cheater? Is Tom Brady a cheater? Something like that, right? Do you remember that? And I'm from New England. Sorry, Tom. Sorry. I think you're awesome. You are the best quarterback ever. And that was the most inappropriate answer verbally that screamed deception. Screamed deception for sure. I should have brought that video as well. All right. Now he says the girls.
Thing and this, that image of the young girl thing and this, that.
The young girl thing. The young girl thing. Dude, what we're talking about is you having sex with children. It's not the young girl thing. You follow me, everybody? right? Are you following me? Because what he's saying is the young girl thing. He was having sex with children, everybody. I don't care if they thought he was the coolest thing. I don't care if they were like in awe about him. I don't care if at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, you think you are an adult. You are not an adult. My mother used to say to me when I was a kid, you think you know it all. You think you know it all. You know nothing. Listen, I get it. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You think you have it all figured out. You do not. It is illegal. You can consent if you want, but it is still illegal. It does not matter if the girls are like, yeah, you know, I still want to have sex with you. If their parents didn't say, yeah, it's okay, it's illegal. So let's keep watching him because we got a lot to cover tonight.
And but if I had it all over to do it over.
Hear these start-stop sentences? He's stuttering. He's all over the place.
And I definitely wouldn't settle.
Did you have any kind of relationship with those two
Listen
girls?
to this.
Absolutely not.
You did know them, though.
Yeah, not at all.
All right, I want you to pay attention to the word absolutely not. So absolutely not, the word absolutely not, these two words are what we call in my world a weak denial. It's a weak denial. If I said to you, have you ever killed somebody? Would you say absolutely not? If I said to you, do you sell heroin? Would you say absolutely not? What would you respond? You would say no. Have you ever killed anybody? No. Do you sell heroin? No. No is the strongest denial. Is absolutely not a denial? Yes, it is a denial. It's what we call in the detecting deception world a weak denial. It is overselling. See, truthful people will convey information. Liars will try to convince us of this. Joe Navarro, retired FBI agent, he's written a bunch of books, amazing. Hit Google on him, buy Joe Navarro's books. He came up with this expression, and I love it, that truthful people convey, liars try to convince us of something. And an absolutely not is a convincing statement. Does it mean the person who says absolutely not is a liar? No. Sometimes you will hear someone say, have you ever taken heroin? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not may come as a second or a third statement. Have you ever taken heroin? No. What kind of person do you think I am? Absolutely not. Why would, I would have to be stupid to do something like that. The word we're looking for though first is what? You picked up on it. No. It's very simple. We're looking for a no. If the absolutely not comes afterwards, it's not as big of a deal. But if it comes out first instead of the no, it's a big deal.
To go to court over something like that. So if you settle, it'd be better. And right now, I wish that I hadn't done that because I think that has a lot to do with the rumor of R. Kelly and the whole image of the young girl thing and this, that, and the other. And but if I had it all over to do it over again, I definitely wouldn't settle.
Yeah, okay, do you hear that? Let's look at this guy. Remember him? Roger Clemens. I'm going to pick on him a little bit tonight because what we see here with Roger Clemens, a couple different interviews, we're going to see with some other people. So let's explore this, you know, this yada, yada, yada syndrome, this, it's like mumbo jumbo. It's like when people are speaking and they don't make sense. Roger Clemens, this is one of my favorite clips to show at the Body Language Institute. I do a 5-day certification class. If you want to become a human lie detector, you know, private message me below and I'll tell you how you can apply for the class. You have to qualify and there's a bunch of qualifications. So here's the deal though. This is one of my favorite videos to play because you can't make this stuff up, man. It's like Dr. Seuss came in and inhabited Roger Clemens' brain because what he's about to say, I want you to try to follow along. You say it as he's saying it and you're gonna be like, what? But what we do when we hear it live is our brain plays a trick on us. Our brain says, oh, okay, I understand what he's saying here. I get what he's saying. I'm going to challenge you to stop your brain from taking those shortcuts now that you're becoming a celebrity lie detector in training. Stop your brain from taking those shortcuts and pay attention. Listen to how crazy this is, just like we saw with R. Kelly. Ready?
About the conversation. Once again, Mr. Congress, I think he misremembers the conversation that we had. Andy and I's relationship was close enough to know that if I would have known that he had done HGH, which I now know, that if he was knowingly knowing that I had taken HGH, we would have talked about the subject. He'd have come to me.
What? If he knowingly knowed, now that I know knowingly know, it's awesome, man. Write this down. Like, pause this here, write down this because this is, it's just amazing. It is comical. It is comical.
About the conversation. Once again, Mr. Congress, I think he
Mr. Congress.
misremembers the conversation that we had.
Misremembers. That's a weird word,
Andy and
right?
I's relationship was close enough to know that if I would have known that he had done HGH, which I now know, that he was knowingly knowing that I had taken HGH, we would have talked about the subject. He'd have come to me to ask me about the effects of it.
Well, the fact is, Mr. Clemens, that apparently now you know he knew it, and he didn't tell you. Has your mind changed about his credibility?
Andy's a fine gentleman. I have no reason, again,
Very well.
I think he misremembers.
Very well. About the conversation.
Once again,
What's misremembers? How many people have used the word misremembers? How many of you, have you ever used the word misremembers? My husband, I come home from work, he says, hey, did you pick up the milk and the bread? Oh, I must have misremembered. What? Is that even a word in the dictionary? What happens is our brain does not want us to lie. See, so what happens is when we lie, we're overriding our basic instinct to tell the truth. And so it'll either come out in our facial expressions, our body language, or in our word choices. And that's what's happening here with our friend Roger.
Mr. Congress,
About the conversation.
once again, Mr. Congress, I think he misremembers the conversation that we had. Andy and I's relationship was close enough to know that if I would have known that he had done HGH, which I now know, that he was knowingly knowing that I had taken HGH, we would have talked about the subject. He'd have come to me to ask me about the effects of it.
Well, the fact is, Mr. Clemens, that apparently now you know he knew it, and he didn't tell you. Has your mind changed about his credibility?
Andy's a fine gentleman.
Look at his shaking his head no there, guys.
I think he missed.
Say, guys, I'd like you to look at him shaking his head. All right. So here's what happens. I've talked about this before, and I think it's worth repeating. I'm not a big fan of the head nodding in different directions because Roger Clemens could be an internal dialogue here. Like, why did he tell them? Why did he tell them? Or, I'll never let him go. I'll never let him go. We just don't know what the head nod is connected with. And some of you may be also noticing all these tongue protrusions. You're like, Janine, talk about the tongue protrusions that are happening. This was an interesting one. We see this, of course, with the increase in stress and anxiety. With Roger Clemens, he does this. He did this on the mound as a baseball player. He does do this. It is part of his baseline when the stress and anxiety goes up. I did look at numerous videos of Roger Clemens to try to pull it from his baseline. I know it's part of his baseline. There were a few of those videos, not a lot. The problem is here that we see the tongue protrusions nonstop. And someone made a good point in the comment section last week, which is, well, couldn't the person just be stressed because they're being interviewed on TV about something or they're in front of Congress? And the answer is yes. When it comes to detecting deception, that's why we're looking for clusters. We're looking for many signs of an increase in stress and anxiety that it's just over the top. It's not just the typical increase in stress and anxiety. There's so many tells, including things like shoulder shrugs that cancel out someone's definitive message. All right, let's get out of here. Back to R. Kelly. Here's the question. I'd like you to look at this question. Is there any way you could have been involved physically with a minor and not known it?
Is there any way that you could have been involved physically with a minor and not known it? No, I wouldn't say, from my past up to now, I wouldn't say that I didn't know it if it did happen. If I was involved with a minor, she would have to lie to me, but I wouldn't sit here and say no way possible. No.
I literally want like fireworks going off like behind me here at my office because this is a jackpot clip. When I saw this, I was like, oh, I got to bring this to all my fans here at Celebrity Lie Detector. Let's break this down. You're really going to love this. It's going to rock your world. So you're going to want to watch this part over and over again at the end of the show. My name's Janine Driver. I'm your Celebrity Lie Detector live here on Facebook Live every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. East Coast time. Be sure to like it below, leave a comment, and share this on your page. Let's break this down. I literally typed this up like 2 hours ago and put it 3 hours ago and put this on the screen for us to look at his words.
No, I wouldn't say, from my past up to now, I wouldn't say that I didn't know it if it did happen. If I was involved with a minor, she would have to lie to me, you know. But I wouldn't sit here and say no way possible. No.
All right, thank you. Now let's break it down. Before he answers, he's asked this question, there's a 4-second delay. This is suspicious because a lot of the other questions he was being asked, 98% of them, he answered it right away. Here we have this 4-second delay. Remember I said a second ago, our brain is programmed to tell the truth. So when we override it, all these signs come out at us. One of them is too much pausing where there shouldn't be any pausing. And another one is not enough pausing. So if I said to you, what were you wearing on June 10th last year? And you said, I was wearing a black sweatshirt and a black hat. My hair was in a ponytail, wore red lipstick. All without skipping a beat, no pausing, no thinking. That's suspicious. So my next question, it doesn't mean you're lying. My next question is, what leads you, or how do you remember with such great detail so quickly what you were wearing on June 10th last year? And the person may say, well, June 10th is my birthday. And I remember I put my kids to sleep. I went and did a Facebook Live, and I remember exactly what I was talking about. It was my second episode of Celebrity Lie Detector Live. All right, so that's why the person would remember it. For the most part, if you're asking people, what did you do, even yesterday or last week or a year ago, it should take a couple seconds to think about it, if not more than a couple. So 4-second delay. Nah, I wouldn't say, you know, from my past up to now, what? I wouldn't say that this is stalling techniques. And when we have the same language repeating like this, kind of on loop, like a record skipping, it indicates to us there's a huge spike in stress and anxiety in the brain. You may remember Casey Anthony. Casey Anthony was talking about Zenaida, the babysitter, that her phone was disconnected. I called Zenaida, her phone was disconnected. I called Zenaida, her phone was disconnected, and she had Kaylee. This looping says that they are not in the neocortex part of the brain, which is the smart, logical thinking part of the brain. They're starting to think with the emotional part of the brain. And so that loops around. If you've ever had someone yell at you because they were mad and you apologized, have you ever had this happen and you said you're sorry like 16 times? And they're like, but you were late. You were supposed to be here 15 minutes ago. This is the 5th time you were late. And you go, you're right. I'm sorry. I mean, this is ridiculous. How many times? You constantly are late. You're constantly 15 minutes late. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. This is 15 minutes late. You don't think I'm a busy person? And they just keep looping and looping and nagging and nagging and nagging. And well, here's the deal. You are communicating with your I'm sorry and they're thinking with the neocortex part of their brain. No, they're down here in the emotional part of the brain. And they're not even hearing what you're saying. So sometimes you may just have to apologize 100 million times. Believe me, if you had told me that I need to apologize 100 million times and eventually be effective, I would say you're out of your mind. But I was coached by a hostage negotiator out of the UK, this guy Dick, years ago. And my husband was mad about something. And I was calling to let my husband have it. I'll tell you the story another time. And Dick said, you can only say authentically and real, I'm sorry, you're right. That's it. In a version of I'm sorry, you're right. That's it. And I said it over. I think I had to say it like 17 times. And by the end, my husband goes, well, Janine, don't beat yourself up. It's one of the things I really like about you. 5 months later, or a couple months later, it was like 4 or 5 months later, a long time later, I came home after a trip. It was 1 a.m. My husband turns over to me. I'm just about to go to sleep. He goes, are you awake? I go, yeah, I'm wicked tired. What's up? And he said, do you remember like 4 or 5 months ago when you were in California and being trained with those CIA and secret law enforcement people? I called you and I was really upset about something. I go, yeah. He goes, did you use some type of like hypnosis, like mind control trick on me? I said, yes, I did. And he goes, I knew it. What was it? I go, do you really want to know? And he goes, yeah. I go, okay, if I tell you, you're going to have to use it on me too. And he goes, really? You want me to use it on you? I go, yeah. You got a pen and a piece of paper over there on the side of the bed? I made him turn the light on, get the paper out. I go, it's really complicated. He goes, oh, can you just tell me? Gets the paper. I go, I said, you're right. I'm sorry. Nonstop, like 17 times. 17 times. He's like, what? No way. Anyway, there's my little sidebar story. All right, let's break this down. She would have to lie to me. He's talking in future tense instead of talking in past tense. instead of talking in past tense. So she would have to lie to me, you know, but I wouldn't sit here and say, no way possible, nah. I think what he just did is confessed somehow to having inappropriate relationships with young women. Here are the hot spots, everybody. In statement analysis, which was discovered by a guy named Mark McGlish, amazing, and he has great books out there as well. Google him. He talks about the power of words. He is retired from law enforcement, analyzed many, many statements over at FLETC, the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, FLETC, in Glencoe, Georgia. I was a trainer there for several months too, throughout my 17 years with the federal government. So let's look at the actual words. The words betray people. As a matter of fact, both Mark McGlish, myself, and anyone else who's trained in statement analysis will tell you to detect deception, words and the words people use are way more powerful than body language, 1,000 times more powerful than body language. All right. I didn't know it if it happened. It did happen. So I want you to show you it did happen. The actual statement, we can take off words in the beginning of a sentence and we can take off words at the end of a sentence. But what's in the middle, you cannot change. And he did not say it did not happen here. So he said it did happen. So that's one red flag, one hot spot. If, and let's get rid of the if I was involved with a minor. Again, he's saying it right here. So if someone says, I know you think I'm cheating on you. I know you think I'm cheating on you versus I want to let you know I'm not cheating on you. I know you think I'm cheating on you. This person just said what? I'm cheating on you. I know you think I'm lying. Now, it doesn't mean the person's cheating and lying. It doesn't mean this actually happened. No. Is it a huge hotspot that says you need to pay closer attention? Get your magnifying glass out like Sherlock Holmes and look a little closer and listen a little closer? Yes. So it did happen. If I was involved with a minor, she would have to lie to me. This is what? Future. We're looking for past. He should have said what? She would have had to lie to me. We're missing that past tense here. She would have had to lie to me. You know, but I wouldn't sit here and say, no way possible. So he's really saying, I'm not going to say that there's no way possible that I didn't know. I don't know. This one got me confused today, and I just want to get to Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, don't you? So let's get out of here. But we got to compare this guy. We got to compare R. Kelly to somebody. This guy, remember him? When Jerry Sandusky was asked, are you sexually attracted to young boys? Do you remember how he responded? Watch this. Listen closely.
Are you sexually attracted to young boys, to underage boys?
Am I sexually attracted to
Yes.
underage boys? Sexually attracted? You know, no, I enjoy young people.
I was sitting there saying, well, what in the world is this question?
All right, I'll go back to him here. This is an interview with Joe Becker from the New York Times that we're spilling into from that first interview. Are you sexually attracted? He repeats the question. That's called a stalling technique. A stalling technique is a red flag for possible deception. However, this is a disclaimer. Some people may repeat your question because they literally are not understanding what you're saying. They could have been thinking somewhere else. They could have been daydreaming and only half listening to you. And you say, hey, did you return that phone call from yesterday? And they're only half listening. What? Did I return that phone call from yesterday? And so they'll repeat the question. Be careful of thinking anyone who repeats a question is a liar. It's just simply not the case. Here, though, it's very suspicious. It's one of numerous hotspots with Jerry Sandusky. So let's keep watching this. I'm going to play it one more time and watch it spill into this interview with Joe Becker from the New York Times.
Are you sexually attracted to young boys, to underage boys?
Am I sexually attracted to
Yes.
underage boys? Sexually attracted? You know, no, I enjoy young people.
I was sitting there saying, well, what in the world is this question? You know, what is it? You know, am I going to be, if I say, no, I'm not attracted to boys, that's not the truth because I'm attracted to young people, boys, girls.
Yeah, but not sexually. You're attracted.
That's his lawyer chiming in. Not
Right,
sexually.
I enjoy.
Not
That's
sexually.
what I was
That's
trying
his
to say.
lawyer.
I enjoy
That's what I was
spending
gonna
time
say.
with young people. I enjoy spending time with people.
I enjoy taking drugs. I enjoy, if you ask me if I enjoy taking drugs, yeah, I enjoy taking drugs. I enjoy as my lawyer screams out from the side, you mean medicine, over-the-counter medicine, like Tylenol when you have a headache? Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yes, that's what I was going to say. I was just about to say that. Just about to say that. This is insane. Remember Maya Angelou? I loved Maya Angelou. What did she used to say? People show you, they tell you who they are. They show you, they tell you who they are. Pay attention the first time. Am I sexually attracted to young boys? I didn't know where that question came from. And I was like, well, if I say that I'm not, that's simply not the truth. That's simply not the truth.
Am I going to be, if I say, no, I'm not attracted to boys, that's not the truth because.
Well, we know where he is now, in a little place called jail. I call it a one-bedroom suite in a gated community. His new home. His new home.
Are you sexually attracted to young boys?
I can't handle it anymore. Can't handle it. Now let's look at this interview. It gets worse for Jerry Sandusky. Here's Joe Becker from the New York Times.
Press further about his physical interaction with second-mile children. He had this to say.
The environment was family-like. I mean, and I guess,
listen to this,
times
guys.
that you had with them,
the times you had with them.
All the times were precious times.
All those times are precious times.
They were significant times because they weren't, they weren't going to have you and you weren't going to have them. So it was significant times. It was important times, and so it was significant. But they weren't going to have you and you weren't going to have them. They weren't going to have you and you weren't going to have them.
They're going to have,
they're
going to have you and you're going to have them. It just, this puts tears in my eyes. So this little clip here is very sad and says to me, I'm glad that he is where he is.
Are you sexually attracted to young boys, to underage boys?
Am I sexually attracted to
Yes.
underage boys? Sexually attracted, I enjoy young people.
I was sitting there saying, "Oh, what in the world is this question? What is am I going to be, if I say, no, I'm not attracted to boys, that's not the truth because I'm attracted to young people, boys, girls."
Yeah, but not sexually. You're attracted because you enjoy spending time.
Right, that's what I was trying to say. I enjoy spending time with young people. I enjoy spending time with people.
Is there any way that you could have been involved physically with a minor and not known it?
No, I wouldn't say, from my past up to now, I wouldn't say that I didn't know it if it did happen. If I was involved with a minor, she would have had to lie to me, but I wouldn't sit here and say no way possible. No.
Is there any way that you could
I
have
can't
been
handle it.
involved?
I gotta get out of here. I can't handle it. I cannot handle it. I'm so sorry for those of you who have been hanging on for Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. We're finally almost here. Finally almost here because we got to dive into Ryan Seacrest first and chat a little bit about him. I like Ryan Seacrest. I don't know how you guys feel about him. I'm interested to read your comments below. I see you guys are lighting up with questions. I have 134 comments. I'll be picking some of you to win my celebrity lie detector hats in training. They're coming in this week. So for next week's episode 3 of a Celebrity Lie Detector Live. My name's Janine Driver. Please share on your Facebook page. I only see 15 shares, guys. What's going on? Share this video because this could influence someone to make smarter decisions in their life. It could help them protect their friends, their family, their finances.